I think it's fair enough to say that most of us know about the major beauty shows like IMATS and even the Ipsy Gem Beauty, but have you ever heard about the International Beauty Show? Hey everybody, today I'm going to be doing a review on some products from some amazing brands that are going to be featured at the International Beauty Show. I did receive these complimentary, but all opinions are 100% my own. So let me tell you a little bit more about the International Beauty Show before I get into my tutorial. The International Beauty Show is much like the other events that I mentioned in my intro in that brands exhibit their products. Now there are going to be over 500 exhibitors at the New York International Beauty Show. There will also be hands-on classes and master workshops, so if you'd like to get better at your skill or just learn some new skills, they'll have that available as well. At the event itself, there'll be 100+ educational classes. So this goes on for 3 days and there'll be tons and tons of learning opportunities aside from just appreciating beauty products. Now IBS is more than just regular makeup. Now I know that my channel typically focuses more on the makeup aspect of beauty, but this show encompasses all beauty. Hair, nail, face, you name it, it's all there. So if you'd like to check it out and get in on the fun, it's coming to New York in March. So please be sure to go to the link below, check it out, sign up, maybe I'll see you there. I would love to see you guys there actually. I'd love to meet more of you guys. If you guys are going, leave me a message and maybe we can meet up. So let me start the tutorial and show you some amazing products from some amazing brands that will be at the show.
So I'm starting this tutorial by fixing my hair. My hair is stringy, it's unmanageable, it's a mess. So I'm going to start by applying the Aerogel. I hope I'm saying that correctly. This is the Refreshed Dry Conditioner. This helps hair to be more manageable, it helps hair to look shiny, and it just gives hair that mid-wash boost where it's like if your hair becomes unmanageable in between washings, this is good to apply from the mid-length of the hair all the way down. As you see, I'm running my fingers through the hair and I'm brushing it. And you can see how shiny, like an instant difference in how my hair looks in terms of appearance, texture, and just manageability. So I'm applying it to both sides, and as you see I'm putting my hand behind it this way I don't get it all over my clothes. But the good thing about this is it's not going to leave your hair greasy, it's not going to leave like a film on your hair, and it definitely does not feel heavy. So now I want to add some volume to my hair, and I'm going to start by brushing my hair back, starting at the crown, leaving the front part of my hair flat. As you can see, I'm trying to get just up to the mid sides of my scalp, and then I'm brushing down to make a distinction between the hair that I'm using and the hair that I'm putting back. I'm continuing to gather hair into almost like a ponytail. I'm going to fasten a ponytail with an Invisibobble, and this is a great fastener in that it's not going to pull your hair out, it's not going to, damage your hair in any way, so it's really good for a look like this considering it's not something that's going to be worn the whole look, it's just there to hold the hair in place. Now I have a lot of flyaways, so I'm going to be using some hairspray, and this is the Aquage Hair Care Hairspray, and this hairspray is going to help me manage flyaways. It's also going to add volume later, but for now I want to make sure that when I do take my hair down I don't have hair sticking up. So I'm using an eyebrow brush to pretty much just tame the top of my hair, especially since I'm going to be teasing. I want to make sure that that hair on top is not going to look a mess, and I'm also paying attention to the front of my hair as well. So now I'm going to undo the fastener that I put in my hair. I'm going to pull it out. As you see, it comes out nice and gently. And I'm going to use the same brush as before, and I'm going to start to tease the hair. That's basically brushing the hair up and against the grain, or up or down, but you're basically gathering it underneath the hair. So on the bottom side of the hair, you're gathering that hair up, and you're just moving the brush along in the opposite direction of the hair, the opposite direction that the hair goes. As you can see, when I put my hair down, there's a little bit of volume underneath, but I want to make sure that I set it with some extra hairspray, this way my teasing stays put. Now since we put the dry conditioner in, even though I teased my hair, you're still going to have that volume, but you're going to have the manageability as if you didn't tease your hair. Because anybody who's ever teased their hair knows that hair can become unmanageable, you can't put your hands through it. But when you do both of these products at once, you have manageable hair, you have voluminous hair, you have hair that you can run your fingers through, and you're not going to mess up that volume. So I love the way my hair looks after doing this. It's a very easy way to get volume and shine for an everyday hair look. This is a perfect duo. And by the way, both of these hair brands will be showing at the International Beauty Show in New York from March 4th through 6th. Now moving on to the makeup, I'm going to be starting with my moisturizer, and I'm using Doll Face Beauty. This is the Nourish Antioxidant Protective Moisturizer. This is one of my favorite moisturizers lately, and I love how it leaves my skin feeling smooth, plump, and also it helps to diminish the look of lines and pores and all that, just because it makes my skin look healthier overall. And of course I apply this to my hands because hey, if my face is getting a moisturizing treatment, so should my hands. And also don't forget about the neck. Next up, I'm going to be using my primer, and for my primer I'm using Amazing Cosmetics. This is the Illuminate Primer Highlighter, and I'm using the shade Rose. I'm applying in small dots all over my face because I love having a little bit of extra glow underneath my foundation. Even when using a matte foundation, the glow just helps to make your skin look a little bit more like glow from within, dewy from within. Even if you're putting a matte foundation on top of it, it helps to show through. So I'm rubbing this in with my fingers because it really helps to melt the product into the skin, and also just doesn't diminish any of the product, like it's not being absorbed by a sponge or a brush, it's going right on the skin. Now I'm going to be applying my concealer, and I'm using the Eve Pearl. This is the Dual Salmon Concealer, and I'm also applying it initially with my finger, and then I'm going to be blending it out with the Eve Pearl brush. This brand is showing at the International Beauty Show in March. Now this is my first time working with this brand, and I love how easy it was to blend out this concealer, and I loved how it covered up my dark circles. The brush was smooth and soft, there was no shedding, and it was very easy to work with, whether I'm using the precision side or the blending side, or the broader blending side. And I'm blending using sweeping motions, blending out to the sides of my face and also down into my cheekbones. For my shadow, I'm using BH Cosmetics Carly by Belle 10 Shadow Palette. Now this palette contains 10 shadows and 4 highlights. I'm going to start by using the first shade in the palette, the first eyeshadow, and I'm going to be applying this with a sweeping back and forth motion over my entire lid. This is going to work as my base shade or my primer. I typically don't use a cream primer, and I like to use a shadow that's very similar to my natural skin tone to prepare the other shades to be blended on top of it. So I'm sweeping this up to underneath my brow. Now for the second shade, I'm using the third shade on the top row, and I'm using circular motions and also sweeping motions to apply this to both the outer V and the crease. So a circle, circle, sweep, circle, circle, sweep. This helps to blend the shade into the crease, and it helps to blend the shade into the outer V, so you have a nice diffuse shade. Now this shade is considered a transitional shade in that it is a transition between what's going to eventually go on the lid and also what's going to go on the outer V. It's going to help make the whole look a little bit more cohesive, and when you apply that darker shade on the outer V, it's going to look more blended, and it's also going to look softer. Now I'm applying the second shade from the second row with my finger. This is going to give you maximum pigmentation, but if you're uncomfortable with using your finger, you can always use a flat, dense brush, or even a moist, dense, flat brush for maximum pigmentation. Now I'm dragging this shade across my lid in just a side motion. I'm not going too far above my crease, because if you have hooded eyelids, you know that if you creep any higher than if you creep up to your crease, you're going to have this shimmery shade all over your lid. So I try to stay a little bit under where my natural crease is due to my hooded eyelids. If you don't have hooded eyelids, feel free to go a little bit further up. Now I'm using a pencil brush, and I'm applying the same shade to the inner corner of my eye. This helps to give me a little bit more precision than say my finger would, and I'm dragging it towards my lower lash line as well, and this is going to brighten the eye, make the eyes look wider. Now I'm applying the last shade in the top row, and I'm applying this to my outer V and sweeping across the lid. This is going to be my defining shade. I'm really defining the eye look right now. You could skip this if you'd like just a more softer, natural, more everyday type look, but I like to go a little bit more bold when it comes to my look, so I'm adding it in. And I'm doing just a sweeping patting motion. As you can see, it blends really well with that transitional shade that we added. Now I'm going in with the definer brush, and I'm applying that same shade to my lower lash line. I'm lining the lower lash line. This is also adding more definition. Again, if you'd like a more neutral look, you can skip this step as well. To make the look a little bit smokier, I'm going in with a blender brush, and I'm adding just a little bit more pigmentation into the look. With each step, I'm amplifying this look. So if you're trying to recreate this look, you can potentially consider this a day to night look. If you start with just the transitional shade and the shade I applied with my finger, you can use that as your day look, and then for a night look, add the darker shade to your outer V and your lower lash line, and poof, you have a day to night look right there. Now I'm applying my liner, and I'm using the Stila Cosmetics Stay All Day Waterproof Liner. This is a small size because it's a sample I received in one of my subscriptions, but nonetheless it works amazingly. I love the precision tip. It allows me to really get a nice wing liner, and as you can see, I'm really taking my time with it because I want to make sure that it's perfectly precise. I start in the middle of my lid, and then I drag out following where I've applied my shadow. When you apply your shadow like this to your outer V, it kind of gives you a guide on where your liner should go. Then I'm gently going back in and I'm filling in the inner corner of the lid and also filling in spaces on the bottom of the line. Next up is foundation, and I'm going to be applying the Urban Decay All Nighter Foundation in shade 4.0. When I first applied this, it looked a bit yellow on my skin tone, but as I blend it out, it actually perfectly matches my neck. I've been experiencing a lot of redness on my face lately, and this helped to kind of conquer it. Now I'm applying this with the Juno Co. Fusion Sponge, which features microfibers that almost feel like velvet on your face. Like, this is pretty much the most fantastic beauty blender or sponge type applicator that I've ever used, and I would highly recommend it. It's also super affordable, and if you'd like to save some money on it, you can use my link in the info section. Once I've finished applying all of my foundation to my face, I move on to my brows. For my brows, I'm going to be using the Cella Beauty eyebrow pencil, and I love that this comes with its own built-in spoolie brush because I have bushy, unruly brows that sometimes need to be tamed, and the only way to tame those is a spoolie brush, and I'm always losing my spoolie brushes. So I love that it's attached right there to my pencil. Now I'm starting at the bottom of my brow, and I'm defining the under shape of the brow. I'm simply going along where my natural brow is, bringing it all the way through to the tip. For the top of my brow, I'm filling in sparse areas and defining my shape a little bit more. After I've defined my shape, I use soft short strokes in the front to mimic the look of hair, as to not look too Instagrammy or too boxy. I don't prefer that look. I kind of prefer more of my brows but better look. And I feel like I can achieve that with the Cella Beauty Brow Pencil. By the way, this brand will be showing at the International Beauty Show in March. Now I'm going to be applying my highlight, and I'm using the second shade from the BH Carly Bibel palette, and I love that this shade gives me a nice soft glow. I'm applying it with my NYX fan brush, leaves my skin looking dewy and soft, kind of almost sun-kissed. And my son is peeking his head in for a little bit of smiles and love. Mama can never say no to that, so had to add that in. Now I'm going to be applying my contour, and I'm using the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. This is another sample that I received, and I love that it kind of smells like chocolate. Now I'm applying this lightly to the hollows of my cheek just to give my face a little bit of a thinner look, and I'm using a sweeping back and forth motion, and a little bit on the sides and the nose. Now for my lips, I'm going to be applying Morphe Cosmetics. This is in the shade Hot Shot. This is a liquid to matte liquid lipstick, and this is a nice bright vibrant red shade. I love that it felt so creamy when I applied it. It was opaque in one swipe, didn't bleed, didn't feather. I didn't really have any issues or complications with this. By the way, I'm sorry that my mouth is blue. I decided to swatch up some blue lipstick before putting this on, and that was obviously a mistake because it stained the heck out of my lips. But as you can see, this red lipstick just covered it right up. Did a good job. Very opaque.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I used some products that are a little bit out of my comfort zone, products that I've never used before, and I have to say I really like them. I'm glad that I got to be introduced to them, and I think that's one of the beautiful things about the International Beauty Show is that you get to go and discover brands that you might not have heard of, or you may have heard of a brand but you never tried them, never swatched them, never experienced them. So you get to go to these venues and get to see these vendors in real life and try them and be hands-on with products that you might not have ever had the chance to be hands-on with, and then fall in love with it. So I mean, I could do only so much over this YouTube channel. I can only show you so much on my face, and when you actually experience a product, you fall in love with it in a totally different way. So check it out, link below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like it. If you aren't already, and again, you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe. If you'd like to see more from me, I have swatches, reviews, makeup looks, even mini little tutorials up on my Instagram. That's at Recycle Stardust. Head over there, you'll get to see all that and more, and under all of my makeup pictures I have my makeup recipe that gives you a detailed step-by-step instructions on how to achieve my makeup look. I do not just tag the brands. Nope, no vagueness with me. You will know exactly what products I'm using, and you can go check them out on your leisure. So it's much more compact, especially if you can't be watching a whole video like this. Go to my Instagram. It's quick, easy to see my content in a more quicker way, especially like during rush hour traffic. I even scroll through my own timeline when I'm in like rush hour traffic, when I'm not driving. So guys, I hope you go check me out there, follow me there, subscribe here, and as always guys, thank you so much for watching.